Arthur John Simpson was involved in a car accident. Suffering various abrasions but conscious and able to walk, he was taken by ambulance from the scene of the crash to the accident department of Rudkin General Hospital. There he was examined by a member of the accident department staff, a Dr. Warner. X-rays were taken of the left elbow, knee, and of a 2-inch flesh wound to a left side of the skull. Mr. Simpson was taken by a nurse Dowling to a nearby restroom and told to lie down. Half an hour later, Mr. Simpson was found in a state of collapse on the street which runs in front of the main entrance to the hospital. He was rushed into an operating theatre where an operation was performed on a hairline fracture of the skull. The operation was not a success, and at 12:23 on the afternoon of April 17th, Arthur John Simpson died. I represent the plaintiff in this action, who is Mrs. Simpson, widow of the deceased. This is a claim for damages against the Hospital Management Committee of Rudkin General Hospital, represented in court by my learned friend, Mr. Elliot. The plaintiff alleges that the death of her husband was brought about by negligence on the part of the hospital, and that he was allowed to leave its precincts before an examination was completed. We will, of course, be bringing evidence before your lordship which will seek to prove our allegation. But first, I would ask your lordship to look at a ground plan of the hospital. Copies have been made for your lordship's convenience. Do you have a copy?
Yes, thanks.
Very well, Mr. Fry.
I'm obliged, my lord. May I assume your lordship has read the pleadings?
You may.
Then your lordship is aware that the amount of damages claimed by the plaintiff has been agreed in quantum by the defendants, although they deny liability.
I understand that to be the case.
That is so, my lord.
My lord, Mrs. Simpson's husband was only 42 years old at the time of his death. He was a successful chartered accountant and was earning £9,000 a year. There is no reason to assume that these earnings would not have been maintained for a further 18 years at least until retirement. They may well have increased, but that is conjecture.
Oh, so it is.
Your lordship does well to restrain my natural sympathy for the plaintiff. Mr. Simpson ran a mortgage of £1,000 a year and paid yearly school bills for his 2 children of £650. He generously allowed Mrs. Simpson a weekly housekeeping amount of £30 per week. My lord, performing the mathematics typical in a case of this sort, damages have been set and agreed in quantum by the defendants at £60,000.
You want Simpson's household account?
My lord, we have here a clear case of negligence on the part of Rudkin Hospital. Your lordship will, during the course of the action, hear evidence from an expert on hospital procedure who will emphasise, and rightly, that there are no list of rules laid down for hospitals to follow. There are no regulations to which one can turn in moments of doubt when hospital conduct is questioned. But there is an accepted procedure which applies to the accident departments of all hospitals. And the question which will be put before your lordship will be, did the plaintiff's late husband receive all reasonable care and attention from the hospital authorities to whom he went following the reception of his injuries? The plaintiff's case is that he did not. The defendants plead that he did. My answer to that, my lord, is simply this. Mr. Simpson was found in a state of collapse on the street outside the hospital after being examined by the hospital authorities, but before the results of that examination were fully known. The hospital, in effect, allowed, or at least failed to prevent Mr. Simpson from leaving the accident department until a full diagnosis of his injuries had been completed.
There's a big difference between being accused of allowing to leave and failing to prevent, I think.
Don't worry, Mr. Frost, our turn will come.
I have every faith in you, Mr. Dealey.
My lord, for my first witness, I would like to call Mrs. Simpson, the plaintiff.
Silence in court. Take the Bible in your right hand, please, and repeat the oath after the associate.
I swear by Almighty God
I swear by Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give this court
that the evidence I shall give this court
shall be the truth,
will be the truth,
the whole truth,
and
nothing but the truth.
nothing but the truth.
Your name is Anna Mary Simpson.
Yes.
Mr. Fry, excuse me. Mrs. Simpson, do sit down if you wish.
Thank you, my lord.
Thank you.
Most obliged. You live at 71 Hilton Road, Fulchester. You are 40 years of age and have 2 children, a boy aged 14 and a girl of 12.
That is correct.
What was the date of your marriage, Mrs. Simpson?
March the 20th, 1954.
Would you describe your marriage as a happy one?
Yes, very. My husband was a wonderful person. Our life together was one of uninterrupted contentment, if that does not sound too sentimental.
Well, how refreshing to hear such sentiments in these days.
Indeed, my lord, it is. Mrs. Simpson, did he allow you sufficient housekeeping money?
If he had any faults, he was over-generous to his family.
A reputation vainly sought after by many family men.
Apart from the housekeeping, he allowed me more than enough to cover clothing expenses for myself and for my children.
So you would describe him as a good provider?
Yes.
Mrs. Simpson,
The hospital has agreed the damages.
I don't want you to dwell at length
Counsel
on the
must go
painful
through
details of the day your
Yes,
husband
and it
died.
doesn't do their case any
Would you
harm
be
to
kind
hear
enough to
this,
tell the
does it?
court how you first became to be acquainted with the news of the tragedy?
Well, I returned home from shopping to find a message from my cleaning lady saying that somebody had telephoned to say that Arthur had been in a car accident, that it wasn't serious, but that he had gone to an outpatient's at the hospital for checkup.
Rudkin General Hospital.
Yes. Anyway, I rang them back.
Who made the telephone call, Mrs. Simpson?
The ambulance man who took my husband to the hospital, my lord. I telephoned, but you see, this was an hour and a half after they'd contacted my house. When I phoned, they asked me to come to the hospital at once.
Was he still alive?
But the person simply said he was undergoing an emergency operation.
What did you do then?
I drove at once to the hospital, of course.
And when you got to Rudkin Hospital?
Arthur was dead.
I see. So from receiving initially a message to say your husband had been in a minor car accident and was hardly injured, you were informed 2 hours later that he was dead.
My lord, I believe the phrase used by the witness was that his condition wasn't serious, not hardly injured.
That was the phrase I also had noted, Mr. Elliot.
I stand properly corrected, my lord. Wasn't serious was the exact phrase used. I am grateful for the acuteness of my learned friend's hearing. Mrs. Simpson, I know this must be exceedingly painful for you, but would you tell the court what you were told after arriving at Rudkin Hospital?
Well, apparently Arthur's car had been in a collision with another. He was shaken up, but was able to walk and seemed quite normal. An ambulance happened to be passing at the time and took Arthur to the accident department of the Rudkin Hospital. Rudkin was the nearest hospital. The ambulance man then asked him his next of kin, and Arthur gave our home number. Unfortunately, as I said, I was out. I did not return for an hour and a half. During this time, Arthur was examined by a doctor in the accident department, but he left before the doctor had finished. Apparently, he was waiting for some X-ray photographs of Arthur's injuries.
Now, who related this information to you, Mrs. Simpson?
The doctor who examined him, my lord, Dr. Warner. He then, that is, my husband, collapsed in the street outside. There was an emergency operation, but Arthur died.
When did you last see your husband alive, Mrs. Simpson?
I said goodbye to him at 8 o'clock that morning. I never saw him alive again.
Thank you, Mrs. Simpson.
The ambulance took Mr. Simpson very promptly to the hospital, did it not, Mrs. Simpson?
Yes?
He was seen at once by a doctor?
Yes.
You must have appreciated all this promptness.
Yes, I did.
Mrs. Simpson, I wonder if I could just clear up 2 points. Now, as you know, the representative of the Rudkin Hospital Management Committee, Mr. Frost, has agreed the sum of the damages you're claiming. The phrase is in quantum. That's merely an erudite way of saying that they do not question the amount, even if they do question their liability. Therefore, my request for information in no way reflects upon the sums already carried out by my learned friend with his customary agility. Now, I'd simply like to ask if £10 of the weekly £30 paid to you for housekeeping by Mr. Simpson was in fact payment for secretarial services you performed on your husband's behalf concerning a small sideline business run by him, namely a market garden project.
That is quite right.
The error is mine, Your Lordship. I forgot to make this clear, perhaps because I thought it had no relevance.
Indeed, my learned colleague is quite right. It has no special relevance, except that the salary paid by the deceased was tax-deductible. Not entirely a gesture of an extremely generous husband, but I'd like to move on to more pertinent matters. Mrs. Simpson, it's beyond dispute your husband was an excellent head of family.
Yes.
The facts speak for themselves.
How do you question what the
husband
widow says without
had a
seeming
supremely
callous?
successful career up until his death.
Luckily, we don't have a jury.
Yes, Arthur was very ambitious and always full of energy.
He led a busy daily routine.
Yes.
The one thing about busy, energetic and ambitious men, Mrs. Simpson, is that very often they're impatient men as well.
Yes.
Was Mr. Simpson an impatient person?
I would not have said so. But then you must understand, I hardly ever saw him at the office.
It's a very fair answer. But he didn't like to be kept hanging about.
I suppose not.
For instance, if he were late for an appointment, an important appointment. If he were kept hanging about by a doctor examining him for injuries your husband considered to be trivial, would he not be likely to walk out and try to return to his busy schedule?
That is a very difficult question to answer, my lord.
It is indeed, Mrs. Simpson, a very difficult question.
Thank you, Mrs. Simpson.
Unless Your Lordship has any further questions?
No, thank you, Mrs. Simpson. That will be all.
What went wrong there?
We forgot the old boy was such a gentleman with the ladies.
Good boy.
Dr. Sissons, would you state your qualifications, please?
I'm a Doctor of Medicine, Fellow of the Royal College of Surgeons, Honorary Fellow of New York University, where I taught surgery. I've also written 2 books on hospital organization.
You are, Dr. Sissons, what we in the courts refer to as an expert.
Yes.
Thank you.
Would you address your mind to the standard procedure for treating someone admitted into accident who is suffering from an injury to the head? Would you tell the court briefly what this procedure consists of?
There are no set regulations, no written procedure, but all qualified doctors know what constitutes a thorough examination of a person suffering from a head wound. It's an integral part of their training.
But it is not written down.
Well, not in a short list of do's and don'ts, my lord. However, practical experience has made one aspect of the care of such patients absolutely vital.
What is that, Doctor?
Patient with a head wound who is under examination should be supervised for at least 48 hours.
Why is that, Dr. Sissons?
An injury to the head can have any number of side effects. Due to its proximity to the brain, a blow, no matter how slight, could in some way affect a person's mental procedure. Left alone, he might take it upon himself to walk out before being allowed to do so. He might suffer delayed shock, he could faint, become irrational, confused.
In short, a blow to the head could lead to serious complications, and thus continual observance would be vital.
Yes.
And so, therefore, I'm sorry, Doctor, I interrupted you.
I was merely going to say that I'd be extremely critical of any hospital accident department who left a patient in the middle of a diagnosis on his own completely for any length of time.
And so, if we look at a ground plan of the hospital, would you agree that the deceased had to walk a considerable distance from the accident department into the street?
Quite a distance, yes.
Unopposed all the way.
Dr. Sissons, You say you would be extremely critical of an accident department who left a patient in mid-diagnosis on his own for any period of time.
That's correct.
You refer, I take it, to any patient with a head injury.
Yes.
We must be precise, Doctor.
We were discussing head injuries, I thought.
So did I, Doctor. Do you wish to digress, Mr. Elliot?
No, my lord. Doctor, you are aware of the sometimes hectic conditions which prevail in hospital accident departments?
I am.
Conditions which often make standard procedure impossible to adhere to.
I'm aware of sometimes chaotic conditions in hospital accident departments. However, unless standard procedure, in this case to head injuries, is strictly adhered to, the hospital is not doing the job it was meant to do. Diagnose an illness and effect a cure.
If I were to come to you with a headache, would I have someone constantly in attendance while I waited for an aspirin to take hold?
If that headache had been caused by falling masonry, yes.
My dear doctor, if you were to treat me on such an occasion with an aspirin, I would sue you for the shirt off your back. I must put it to you, doctor, that there can hardly be a hospital in the land which can swear always to have abided by standard procedure in the examination of head injuries.
Well, I can't answer that question.
I don't see how you could, Doctor.
With respect, your lordship, I didn't ask a question. No more questions.
Thank you, Dr. Sissons.
You propose to call another witness, Mr. Fry?
If your lordship pleases, I would like to call Mr. Masterson, the surgeon who operated on the deceased.
Very well. I was merely keeping an eye on the time.
Jane, see what's wrong with him.
Take the Bible in your right hand, please, and repeat the oath after the associate.
I swear by Almighty God.
Just a moment. Stop, please. This is a solemn and sacred oath. It deserves and will receive complete silence while it is being taken.
As a doctor, I should warn you that smoking may be hazardous to health.
What's up?
Well, what do you think? Hearing that expert go on about standard procedure. I was the one that left Simpson on his own.
Oh, come on, Nick. We've been through all this. You're now saying you didn't do all you could for him?
Of course we did. But experts make you feel pretty stupid, especially in court.
Oh, I thought we made him look pretty stupid, didn't you?
Well, I don't know. You're familiar with these places. You pick up all the nuances. Well, it's Greek to me and scary, I can tell you.
That's exactly how I feel every time I walk into a hospital.
Look, Larry, we all do a job of work. In my case, it's being a doctor. Well, you think you're doing all right, or coping rather well, doing very well at times. And then you hear it described in a court of law, and suddenly you seem like a butcher.
Well, not to the judge, I can assure you. Listen, can you take a word of advice from a very junior counsel?
What?
You're not guilty, so stop looking as if you were, huh? Come on.
Here, Barry. Listen, I better sit somewhere else.
Why?
Well, Helen, Nurse Darling, she's not exactly enjoying my proximity.
Why not?
Well, the fact is that we had a thing going at one time, you know.
And it's over now, huh?
Yeah, well, she transferred from Rudkin about 6 months ago. I never bothered to contact her. You see, she was rather keener on the arrangement than I was.
Now you tell us.
Well, why? What's it got to do with the case?
Nick, you're our first witness. She's our second. If she's got it in for you, anything might happen.
No, look, Helen may be resentful, but she isn't a liar. She'll tell the truth.
3 years in the courts has taught me a few things, and one of them is a resentful woman doesn't even know when she's lying. Look, you better tell me now. Can you trust her? I mean, absolutely, to tell the truth.
I've got to bloody well trust her, haven't I?
So there's nothing you could have done to avert the death, Mr. Simpson?
I had done everything possible.
I see.
Only one point, Doctor. You've stated cause of death of the deceased and mentioned the abnormally thin skull which sustained the fracture. Could the fracture have been caused or even aggravated by a second fall? the collapse outside the hospital. My question is really, could it have been possible that Mr. Simpson was perfectly well the time he decided to leave the hospital, but that the jar of the second fall brought on the hemorrhage?
Well, yes, it is possible.
I don't see that your question gets us very far on the subject of negligence, Mr. Elliot.
No, my lord. No more questions.
Any further questions, Mr. Fry?
No, my lord.
Thank you, Mr. Masterson.
James, Warner's nervous.
That concludes this case for the plaintiff, my lord.
We shall hear the defense after lunch.
I don't want to talk, Nick.
Well, apparently they had a thing, you know. It ended badly.
Our witnesses fight among themselves. This isn't our day.
Oh, you mustn't lose heart yet, James.
How you fixed for lunch, Dad?
Oh, I'm fixed very well, thanks.
Well, he can smile. I made a good start.
Dr. Warner's been completely honest with us. I should hate to think at this late stage those two know something that we don't.
I think he's honest, James.
Maybe. Nurse Dowling must be careful this afternoon. She'll wreck his career.
That's a hazard we'll have to face. I see you were well fixed for lunch. Who was she?
You met Alison?
Not yet, but I fully intend to.
She like that.
Yeah, so would I.
She wants to meet all my friends. Well, you know what fiancés are like. They try to vet your entire social life.
No, I don't know what fiancés are like, but I'm sorry well, congratulations anyway.
Oh, she has a sister.
You know what's she like?
Fantastic.
I mean, just do with a change of scenery.
Well, you get that all right. She's mad on Bellevue Funfair.
What?
Well, she is only 6.
You're a sadist, Jones.
Silence in court.
Simpson versus Rudkin Hospital Management Board, part heard.
My lord, the first witness for the defence, I would like to call Dr. Warner.
James, I thought you might not leave.
I swear by Almighty God. I swear by Almighty God.
I'm due for some luck.
I think Warner's the one who needs the luck.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
You are Dr. Nicholas Warner. You're 29 years of age. And you're attached to Rudkin General Hospital, where you live in residence.
Yes.
You were on duty in the accident department on April the 17th, 1970, when Mr. Simpson died.
I was.
The plaintiff, Mrs. Simpson, argues that this was a result of negligence. Now, how long have you been a qualified doctor?
4 years.
Would you address his lordship? I shall hear you. How long had you been in the accident department at Rudkin's General Hospital before April 1970?
About 18 months.
Do you regard 18 months as a long or short period to work in an accident department?
Well, it seemed a lifetime.
Long or short, Doctor?
I suppose longish.
I have never come across that word before. Does anyone know what it means?
I'll rephrase my question, my lord. Oh. Would you call yourself experienced in accident work or not, Dr. Warner?
I suppose experienced.
Now, Dr. Warner, no one will penalise you in this court for what outside may be taken as immodesty. Are you experienced in accident department work?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Most obliged, my lord. Did you receive a patient on April 17th named Mr. Arthur John Simpson?
Yes.
Now, would you tell the court, in your own words, the nature of your contact with Mr. Simpson?
He was admitted with abrasions and lacerations to the scalp and injuries to the skull resulting from a car accident. I carried out the usual examination.
What did that examination consist of?
Well, after
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Not at all, my lord.
Dr. Warner, it is my experience that when medical men give evidence in a court of law, they usually lapse into a medical language intelligible only to themselves or other doctors. If it is possible, without inhibiting your description, could you keep it reasonably within lay bounds?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Well, a head injury is a complicated business. If a limb is broken, an X-ray tells us mostly what we want to know. But with abrasions to the skull, it's of relatively little importance.
Are you saying an X-ray is of little importance in the investigation of a head wound?
It is less important than many other examinations.
Oh, this is new to me.
Now, Doctor, to continue. What examination did you carry out on Mr. Simpson?
After he returned from X-ray, I tested his reflexes. Eye movements and pupils, limbs, fingers and toes, all his main joints. During this time, I asked him questions like, what was his address, how old he was, if he had any children or not. But these were all designed to discover if the blow to the head had caused any mental disorder or imbalance.
After you had completed these tests, what did you find?
Nothing. Mr. Simpson appeared to be perfectly normal.
The wound itself, what did it look like?
As far as I could tell, it looked a minor superficial cut.
Was there much blood?
No. It had congealed before he arrived.
And you could discover no sign of shock or possible brain damage?
None at all.
Did Mr. Simpson say anything during your examination that is over and above the answers to your questions?
Yes, he talked quite a lot.
What did he say?
Well, he was most anxious to leave. Apparently, he'd been on his way to an important meeting when he had crashed. He made light of his injuries and kept saying he felt perfectly all right and couldn't understand what all the damn fuss was about.
Did anyone assist you during your examination of Mr. Simpson?
Yes, Nurse Darling.
From the moment Mr. Simpson was admitted into your examination cubicle, Doctor, can you recall how many times he was out of your sight?
Twice.
And when were those occasions?
At the beginning, when he went off to X-ray.
Alone?
Oh, no, of course not. Nurse Darling accompanied him. She waited there while the X-rays were taken and then brought them back to me.
And the second time? The second time, Doctor?
After I'd done all the tests on him.
Yes?
Well, the X-rays were delayed. I asked Nurse Darling if she'd take Mr. Simpson to her rest room.
Is this the usual procedure?
Oh, yes.
Now, did you see Mr. Simpson again while he was in your charge?
Well, I called into the rest room once to make sure he was all right.
Was he?
Yes. He was complaining bitterly at the delay.
What did you do then?
Well, the X-rays which came through were not satisfactory. I took them back to the X-ray department and ordered another immediate X-ray of Mr. Simpson.
Oh, so you left your patient in order to arrange a further examination of him?
Correct.
And when you returned?
The rest room was empty. Mr. Simpson had gone. The next thing I knew, he was being carried back into the hospital on a stretcher and whipped through to the operating theatre.
Thank you, Doctor.
Dr. Warner, I'd like at once to ask you, when you left to go to X-ray with the faulty prints, did you ensure that someone was supervising Mr. Simpson in the restroom?
Well, I asked Nurse Dowling to keep an eye on him. But that day in accident department had been terrible. The worst I'd ever known. We had a severe staff shortage. And on top of everything, I gather Nurse Dowling was taken away in an emergency.
Would I be right in thinking, my lord, that this nurse will later be called by my learned friend?
We will, my lord.
Look, I must add
Just
that Nurse
to
Dowling...
recap, Doctor. You asked Nurse Dowling to stay with the late Mr. Simpson, but you did not ensure that your order... I'm sorry, your request was carried out.
Look, I've said, on that day, everything was going wrong.
That is all, Doctor.
And do you have any doubt in your mind, Dr. Warner, that you provided all reasonable care and attention to Mr. Simpson while he was in your charge?
No doubt at all. Nurse Dowling and I took every possible care of him.
Thank you, Doctor. You may step down. Nurse Dowling, please.
Careful, James.
I'd like to know what she and Warner were up to before this happened.
I can guess.
So can Jonathan.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give this court shall be the truth, the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
You are Helen Dowling, state registered
they often
nurse
wander
attached
around
on
trying to
April
find
17,
something. It's nothing to worry
1970 to Rudkin General Hospital, where you assisted Dr. Warner in the accident department on the day in question.
Yes.
Nurse Dowling, we've heard Dr. Warner say that during this excessively busy time, you assisted him by taking Mr. Simpson first to X-ray and then later to a rest room to await the results.
Yes.
Now, during the time Mr. Simpson was resting, and when Dr. Warner went off to arrange for a further set of X-rays for him, would you tell the court of your activities?
Well, Dr. Warner said to keep an eye on him. I was in the corridor outside the room he was in and was going...
He being Mr. Simpson.
Oh, yes, sir.
Sorry, my dear. Do go on.
Well, I was about to go to Mr. Simpson when an emergency came in.
What kind of emergency was this?
It was a child with second-degree burns.
How were you involved, nurse?
Oh, well, the stretcher that the little boy was on was mounted on a trolley. One of its wheels got caught in another trolley coming the other way. I went to help get it free.
How long did that take?
Oh, a minute, maybe less.
Then what happened?
Well, the wheel of the little boy's trolley was bent and wouldn't work.
What did you do?
Oh, I helped lift it to run on 3 wheels down to the operating theatre. You see, there was only one male nurse with the little boy, so I helped.
And when you came back to the room where Mr. Simpson was resting?
He'd gone.
Thank you, nurse.
That sounded good, James. Good the old boy.
You say Dr. Warner asked you to keep an eye on Mr. Simpson.
Yes.
Did he say it in a casual way?
Well, I don't know what you mean.
Oh, the phrase itself. It does have a casual ring to it, does it not? Keep an eye on him, nurse. Did you understand from this order or request that you ought to stand over the patient constantly, or that you should pop your head round the door from time to time?
Well, Dr. Warner was in a bad temper that day, so I suppose he said it in a kind of angry way.
Oh? What had made him angry?
Well, at times, Dr. Warner did get rather impatient. And that day, it was awful. You see, earlier on, a light bulb had gone while he was examining another patient, and we couldn't find a spare. And then a man came in with a cut thumb, and Dr. Warner got rather angry about malingerers clogging up the works, as he put it. And then on top of all that, the X-ray machine wasn't working properly.
So Dr. Warner had said keep an eye on him when he was excited and hot-headed.
My lord, could the witness select her own words?
I apologize. Nurse, what was your point when you said Dr. Warner had been angry when he issued these instructions?
Oh, well, normally he would have said stay with him or get someone to stay with him. Not so flip.
And then he went off to assist with the damaged trolley.
Yes.
Did it not occur to you before going that you should get someone to stand in for you with Mrs. Simpson? Another nurse, perhaps?
Oh, I did try, but there was a bad staff shortage that day and I couldn't find anyone. And then the little boy on the trolley was crying and I had no time.
I see. Nurse Dowling, I have to put it to you that the reason Mr. Simpson was permitted to leave was because you did not return as quickly as you might from assisting with the damaged
I came back as soon as I
that you
could.
treated the standard behaviour relating to head injury patients in a most cavalier fashion.
I did not.
That you delayed your return, a quick cup of tea, perhaps a short chat with someone.
True.
How else would Mr. Simpson either get the idea that he was finished with, or that he would be able to walk from the accident apartment into the street, which, as you know, is some considerable
Well, I don't know why he left. How could I know why? Well, perhaps he heard what Dr. Warner said.
Keep an eye on him.
No, after that.
What did Dr. Warner say after that, nurse? What did he say?
Well, as he left, I remember now, he said, you'd better tell him to go and find a better equipped hospital if he wants to get any proper treatment.
In that case, my lord, I have no further questions.
Miss Dowling, may I get this clear? As Dr. Warner left you to demand a fresh x-ray on Mr. Simpson, he said to you, and I quote, "You'd better tell him, that is Mr. Simpson, to go and find a better equipped hospital if he wants any proper treatment." Is that what you told the court?
Yes, sir.
And did you tell him?
Oh, no, of course not.
Lord, if it please the court, I wish to ask for a short adjournment.
Oh, by all means, Mr. Elliot. 30 minutes?
Most obliged, my lord.
Miss Dowling, since you are still giving evidence, you must not converse with anyone in the court during the adjournment. Perhaps you could remain in the court.
A word with you.
What the devil's going on?
Well, Derek, it looks as if they have a crisis on their hands.
They don't seem to be having much luck with their witnesses, do they?
She's right. I did say something like that. I can't remember the exact words.
She can.
Well, those x-rays were the last straw.
You damn fool!
Look, if you came down from the boardroom once in a while, you might have some idea about the lousy conditions we have to put up with.
Really?
The point is, did you mean to discharge Simpson?
Yes.
You meant to discharge your patient?
No, of course not. I was just being sarcastic. I was very angry.
The second point is, do you think he could have heard you?
I'm sure he didn't.
Are you?
Yes.
Because if the judge decides he could have heard, you'll be seen to have officially discharged your patient before finishing an examination. You don't need me to tell you the consequences of that. Barry, get a copy of the ground plan.
The irresponsible things to say.
I'll swear he couldn't have heard me.
Yes, you may have to.
Look, how is it I wasn't told about this before?
What, the remark?
Yes.
Well, I'd forgotten all about it. Well, so had Helen until they started to needle her.
Can you remember where you said it?
In the corridor.
Near Simpson's restroom?
No, moving away from it.
James, you better get this right. Point to where you think you said it.
Well, this is where Simpson was. About here.
How far is that? 5, 10 yards?
Oh, about 5 yards.
Was Simpson's door open?
No, I closed it after seeing him.
That's some time ago, you sure?
I'll never forget that day.
Now, Barry, mark it. Now, here's a question you'll hear again before this day is over. How loud did you say it?
Well, not loud. I more or less murmured it to her.
How do you mean you'll hear it again?
Their counsel will move the earth to prove he yelled it out at the top of his voice for all the world to hear.
Now, just a minute. Can they call Warner back into the box?
No, but I'll have to, and they'll cross-examine.
Well, is that wise?
It depends on your definition of wise, Mr. Frost. If you don't mind losing £60,000, then no, it's not wise.
But supposing they prove that Simpson did hear?
Then you'll lose again. But I'll tell you this. If I don't recall Dr. Warner, we might as well pack up and go home now. It'll be a glaring admission on our part that he's to blame. Recalling him, we might just convince the judge that Warner's tale is the right one, that Simpson didn't hear the remark.
There is something you should bear in mind, Mr. Elliot, in view of the way this case is going.
What's that?
Well, the hospital is, as you're aware, situated in a mainly working-class area.
Yes.
Rudkin has a huge job persuading people to come to it voluntarily for treatments and check-up. Enormous. It's a constant uphill battle against inbuilt prejudice. that all we want to do is cut off their legs or steal their hearts.
What is your point, Mr. Frost?
Look, I'm not asking for a whitewash. You think I'm not aware of the lack of modern equipment, the badly needed coat of paint, the bigger grant from the authorities. We're not that Dickensian on the board, Mr. Elliot. I don't care what Dr. Warner thinks. My point simply is this. Putting Warner back into the box gives him a chance to clear himself, which is right if he's innocent. Putting him back shows that we're not admitting our guilt, which is also right. However, putting him back into the line of fire will make it certain that the deficiencies of Rudkin, or indeed any other hospital, will be publicised, suggesting that it isn't able to take good care of its patients. Consequently, there's a danger that no one will go to them. And that, Mr. Elliot, would be tragic. Well, think of all the people who might avoid cancer by a checkup now, who might arrest heart disease or rheumatism in its early stages. I beg you, Mr. Elliot, bear this well in mind. Be very careful.
That makes sense to you?
Yes, a lot.
Two things. When Fry cross-examines, one, speak the truth, and two, keep your temper.
I'll try.
Try hard. You start yelling in there, and your hospital not only loses £60,000, but you, my friend, you lose your career. Are we ready?
Silence in court.
Mr. Elliot.
Lord, I wish to recall Dr. Warner.
Dr. Warner, I must remind you that you are still under oath.
Sir.
Dr. Warner, on the board, the hospital ground plan. Now, you've indicated the room where Mr. Simpson was resting, and the place you say you murmured your remark to Nurse Dowling.
Yes.
I have two questions. Did you mean what you said about Mr. Simpson finding another hospital if he were to receive proper treatment?
Oh, of course not. I was being sarcastic at a particularly frustrating moment.
The second question, looking at the ground plan, do you consider Mr. Simpson could have heard what you said?
He could not.
Do you often get rattled, Doctor?
No.
Nurse Dowling said, Dr. Warner often gets impatient.
Well, I get annoyed when things let me down.
And when you get annoyed, you become sarcastic.
Sometimes.
You work in an area where a man or woman's existence often hangs in the balance.
If you like.
And with so much at stake, inefficiency can lead to tragic results.
Yes.
Let me put it this way. If I, as a barrister, make a mistake and lose a case, I can regret it and resolve to do better next time. If, however, you make a mistake, it could occur there will be no next time for you.
Perhaps.
Doctor, in a profession such as yours, I too would become furious if things went wrong to impede my work. I would become incensed with rage if I thought a life was being placed into jeopardy because of poor facilities.
Would you?
Wouldn't you? In fact, after the blown light bulbs, the malingerers, and on top of that, the faulty x-rays, weren't you incensed with anger on the day in question?
Well, I was angry, yes.
And your impatience led perhaps to a tension between yourself and Nurse Dowling?
No.
But you were angry.
Yes.
When you were angry, did you shout?
No.
Yell?
No.
Scream out at the top of your voice?
No.
Don't you? Don't you? Oh, come, Doctor, you must. Everyone does. Why are you so different? Don't you, Dr. Warner?
I don't. I'm not so irresponsible as to shout in front of a patient who could misunderstand what I'm saying.
We now come to what to me is the most interesting part of your remark. Tell him to go and find a better equipped hospital if he wants to get properly treated. Dr. Warner, what exactly did you mean by better equipped? Is Rudkin Hospital so ill prepared to help people who visit it for treatment? Dr. Warner, let me repeat the question I've just put to you. What did you mean by saying to Nurse Dowling, you'd better tell Mr. Simpson to go and find a better equipped hospital if he wants to get properly treated? Is Rudkin Hospital so ill prepared to dispense medicine?
I have just explained. I was merely being sarcastic. I was annoyed at the number of things that had gone wrong that day. I did not mean it.
What did you mean by better equipped hospital?
Because of the faulty X-ray prints, which meant a further delay in completing Mr. Simpson's examination, I said, in anger and not loudly to the nurse, that he ought to find a better place. I just said it. I did not mean it. I don't see how much more I can explain.
Was this the first time things had gone wrong in the accident department?
Well, things are always going wrong. Minor things. In any department of any hospital at any given time.
So you would refer to all hospitals as badly equipped?
Dr. Warner has accused no hospital of being badly equipped, my lord. This is a phrase introduced by my learned colleague.
Would you say you could, even in sarcasm, refer to better equipped hospitals in most accident departments elsewhere?
The witness, excellent record though he has as a doctor, my lord, has made no claims to omniscience.
Think again, Mr. Fry.
Very well, Doctor. Let me ask you this. With the conditions prevailing in Rudkin at the time of Mr. Simpson's visit, and by conditions I refer to faulty X-ray equipment, staff shortage, faulty lighting, an inadequate system of sorting out malingerers from bona fide patients, with these conditions prevailing, can you honestly say that you were able to provide Mr. Simpson, or indeed any patient, with all reasonable care and attention?
Yes.
Dr. Warner, you have maintained your assertion of having given all reasonable care and attention to the deceased.
Yes.
Despite the inconveniences you suffered on this particular day.
Yes.
Now, have these inconveniences caused you delays in the past? Have they prolonged the examination of a patient?
Yes, often.
How many times has a patient admitted into your care died because of an incomplete examination?
None.
And what, in your opinion, was the chief reason for the incompletion of this examination?
Well, the fact that he left before I had finished.
What caused him to leave before you had finished?
I suppose his own impatience. He'd repeatedly said he was in a hurry and there was nothing wrong with him.
Doctor, is there any way open to hospital authorities to prevent a person from leaving, ignoring all expert advice to the contrary, if that person so desires?
No, none.
Thank you, Doctor.
We would simply ensure that he signed a note to that effect to clear us.
Did someone offer Mr. Simpson such a note for signature?
No.
Of course they didn't, because no one was attending him at the time of his departure.
If your lordship has no more questions.
No. You may step down, Dr. Warner.
If it please the court, my lord, I should like to call my final witness, Mr. Frost, who represents the management committee of the Rudkin General Hospital.
Mr. Frost,
He was not on our original list of witnesses, my lord, but the defence would like to ask him a few questions.
Oh, very well.
Take the Bible in your right hand and repeat the oath after the associate. I swear by Almighty God.
I swear by Almighty God.
The evidence I shall give this court.
That the evidence I shall give this court
Shall be the truth.
shall be the truth.
You'll
have to take over.
Nothing.
I've got nothing prepared. You'll manage. And the Lord.
Yes, Mr. Fry?
Matters concerning another case in hand urge me to ask your lordship's indulgence and to allow me 20 minutes' absence.
Oh, I would hate to stand in the way of the due process of law, Mr. Fry.
Much obliged, my lord. Frost is up as a candidate witness for the defence. Would you like to play it cool, Derek, but don't let them get away with anything.
On the management committee.
Nick, I'm sorry.
What for?
What's going to happen? Only I hadn't said
If I hadn't said it, you mean?
Well, I'd forgotten all about it until that lawyer started going on and on.
I can't get used to the fact that everything sounds so different when it's read out in court. What is the truth of anything?
I'll never forgive myself if anything happens to you.
Yes, you will. Oh, I don't mean that in a snide way, Helen, but you will. It'll be my fault. A doctor can't afford to have a short temper, and that's that.
You know, I often think back to when we worked at Rudkin together.
Thinking you're glad to be out of it, I bet.
No, just the opposite.
You're a glutton for punishment, Helen. Hardly a day went by without me yelling at you.
Well, where I work now, nobody shouts at me at all. It's so boring.
Where are you living these days?
Same place.
Same number.
Thank you, Mr. Frost. I was anxious for it to be made clear that Rudkin General Hospital has never before been involved in a lawsuit for negligence.
Mr. Jones.
Mr. Frost, I am obliged for your concise account of Rudkin's previous record, and I'm much heartened by what you say. However, we are dealing with the present, not the past. And during this present time, your hospital has been sued for negligence.
I was merely answering the questions put to me.
Of course you were. I have just a few points.
Points or questions, Mr. Jones?
I beg pardon, my lord. Questions?
Oh, I wanted to clarify whether you were about to make a speech or not. That was all.
Mr. Frost, we have heard how a great number of things were going wrong on the day Mr. Simpson tragically died.
We have heard how some things were going wrong, I think.
Some things? Light bulbs that blew out? X-ray prints that were unsatisfactory? Malingerers? A staff shop?
Mr. Jones, we have been through all this before, I feel.
I'm sorry, my lord, but I was trying to take up Mr. Frost on his replies to my learned colleague here regarding the previous record of the hospital.
Oh, very well, but it might help to come to the point a little sooner. I don't want to cramp your style, you understand.
Mr. Frost. I'm much obliged, my lord. Mr. Frost, from the evidence we have heard in this court, it would appear that in the past your hospital has been efficient, ably run, and very adept at its function. However, today it is not so.
Totally untrue.
That today it is ill-equipped to deal with the enormous pressures placed upon it, unable to fulfill the functions as the proper ones of such an establishment, to diagnose illness and effect a cure.
You are stating that on the evidence of one alleged case of negligence, the hospital, which I represent in this court, is unfit to serve as a place where the public might seek and receive medical treatment. I strongly resent any such suggestion.
Sorry if I have given that impression. I did not intend...
It's all right, Mr. Elliot. I ceased to take notes some minutes ago. Mr. Jones, I take your zeal and enthusiasm into account, but I find your line of questioning too strong for the replies I think you are seeking.
I'm properly corrected, my lord. I apologize to Mr. Frost if I have caused him any anxiety.
Thank you, Mr. Frost. That was the final witness for the defense, my lord.
Nothing to worry about. All I prescribe is a stiff drink later on.
Go on.
If your lordship pleases, I would like, in summing up for the plaintiff, to re-emphasize the crucial phrase around which this case revolves. The question which faces the court is, did Mr. Simpson receive all reasonable care and attention while under examination for his injuries in the accident department of Rudkin General Hospital? My lord, I am, as always, indebted to my colleague for the compassion he has shown during this case for the plaintiff, Mrs. Simpson. We are dealing here with an accepted procedure which does, on occasions, use the words all reasonable care and attention with regard to accident patients. My lord, our case is simply this, that although we are aware of the difficult conditions under which all hospital accident departments labor, nevertheless, the lack of proper supervision of Mr. Simpson while he was undergoing an examination for injuries involving a head wound enabled him physically to leave the precincts of the hospital before that examination was completed. As a result, he died from a hitherto undiagnosed complication which might well have been discovered had the examination been completed. Therefore, he did not receive all reasonable care and attention. It is our submission, my lord, that this constitutes a clear and unequivocal case of negligence on the part of the hospital.
Thank you. Mr. Elliot.
My Lord, my learned colleague has generously pointed out that the defendants in this case, requiring no prompting from me or anyone else, have shown a great deal of sympathy for the plaintiff, Mrs. Simpson, in the loss of her husband. Now, adequate proof of this is found in their decision not to question the amount of damages claimed against them. Our defence, Your Lordship, simply takes the operative words reasonable care and attention, which incidentally were first introduced into this case by the plaintiff's counsel. Now, we argue that the facts demonstrate these words were fully adhered to by the hospital authorities. If one were to select one of these words and, so to speak, hold it up to the light for further investigation, that word would be reasonable. Now, by using this adjective rather than, say, all conceivable or all possible care and attention, the authorities take into account, we submit, that existing conditions in which this care and attention is performed. Now, it's our contention that the word reasonable is designed in this phrase to take into account the sometimes less than perfect conditions prevailing in an accident department when running at full steam in the execution of its duties. And such was the case on the day when Mr. Simpson was taken to the accident department of Rudkin General. And we've heard in particular the evidence of Dr. Warner, a witness who has amply demonstrated his sincere and complete dedication to his work. Now, Dr. Warner has frankly described the inadequacies of the department. Staff shortages, temperamental equipment, a constant use, Your Lordship, of delicate machinery will inevitably lead to mechanical trouble. Hence, I submit, it's all reasonable care and attention which is demanded. It is our assertion, therefore, that all reasonable care and attention was paid to Mr. Simpson. It was a decision arrived at by Mr. Simpson himself to leave the hospital, when he was left alone for a short while the staff were engaged in emergency work elsewhere. And it was this decision that was the cause of his tragic and untimely death. My Lord, that is the case for the defence.
Thank you. It's getting late. I will give judgment at 10:35 tomorrow morning.
Well, I liked your performance, James. Most eloquent.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Sorry you had some unpredictable witnesses.
Yes, I can see you are.
Ah, James, you know what I think. One wins a few, one loses a few. I stopped being smug when I was Derek's tender age.
I wasn't really smug just now.
Barry was rushing about a bit. What was the matter?
I like to keep busy.
How come you get all the attractive clients?
Oh, I have great charisma. Well, it was some time ago.
You've had some nasty moments with those two, I think.
Remains to be seen what the judge makes of them.
I didn't have a chance to thank you about yesterday, Dr. Warner.
What for?
Well, you managed to avoid highlighting the major faults of the hospital. I appreciate it couldn't have been easy for you. You were up against it, but you kept off the danger points, and I'm very grateful to you.
That's all right, Mr. Boss. Excuse me. Mr. Elliot, what chance have I got of the judge believing me?
50-50.
Well, you're not committing yourself, eh?
No.
Well, what's he like, the judge?
Justice Waddington? Well, he plays golf badly, plays bridge rather well. He's an old-fashioned gent when it comes to the ladies. He hates dogs, but he adores children. He's also a very fair man.
I see.
Silence in court.
Just how fair we're soon to discover.
Simpson versus Rudkin Hospital Management Board. Part heard.
This has been a most difficult case over which to preside, and I'm indebted to both counsels for their crisp and helpful presentation of the facts. All the witnesses that appeared before me, both for plaintiff and defendants, helped to clarify the often complex situation which is involved when the workings of a general hospital come under scrutiny. Dr. Sissons firmly stated that his opinion was that at no time should a casualty be permitted to remain alone until the examination is completed. He gave us valid and understandable reasons why such patients should be thus treated. I was impressed by these precautions. Subsequently, we heard the doctor who performed the examination on the deceased describe the hectic conditions prevailing in the accident department of the Rudkin General Hospital at the time of the examination. These conditions were corroborated by Nurse Dowling, who introduced a new element into the hearing, that of an ill-judged and hasty remark made by the doctor, Dr. Warner. The nature of this remark was such that, had the patient overheard it, he might have taken the words uttered in their literal sense and considered himself officially discharged from the hospital. Now, let me dwell here a moment. Dr. Warner states he made his remark in anger, that he did not mean it literally for the patient to be told to go and find another hospital. He also states that he was at a distance from the patient and that he did not raise his voice to Nurse Dowling as he made it. I have studied the ground plan of the particular area of the building where the words were uttered. I have come to the conclusion that both Dr. Warner and Nurse Dowling are honest, truthful witnesses. Although I detect in Dr. Warner a certain impatience, a readiness to lose his temper, I must confess that doctors should be allowed the privileges given to other mortals, and should be permitted to show resentment when things around them go wrong through no fault of their own. I therefore conclude that both Dr. Warner and Nurse Dowling are in no way responsible for the events leading up to the death of Mr. Simpson. The question I am required then to resolve is, should the hospital authorities have provided a system which guaranteed Mr. Simpson could not have left the accident department before the conclusion of his examination? Evidence has been given that Mr. Simpson was an energetic and ambitious man with a busy professional life. He was clearly an impatient man. But that in itself does not absolve the hospital from a duty of care. I am not unaware of what has been said about the gap between accepted procedure and that which is practical, given the present state of the overworked condition of the accident departments in all hospitals. Indeed, I am most sympathetic to these matters. But in this case, we have a man with a head injury, a wound to a most complex and vital part of the human body, a man who has demonstrated a likelihood that he might get up, leave the restroom, the accident department, and the building. I am aware, too, that I am criticizing a system which, by virtue of the stresses of modern life, has become inadequate through no fault of its own. Yet an investigation into the reasons for its inadequacies is, unfortunately, not within the function of this court. I therefore find the Management Committee of Rudkin General Hospital guilty of negligence in this case, and award the agreed sum of damages to the plaintiff.
Well done.
Thanks, James. I'm delighted to see I was wrong about Milord's view of your young doc. I just hope nobody takes it out on him.
I shouldn't think so. Mr. Elliot, thanks a lot. Good luck.
Now, James, you're always going on about your tonsils. Now's the time to arrange some quick treatment.
Any time. Bye, Mr. Elliot.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What can I say? Thank you.
It was the court that decided, madam. I am merely an instrument.
I'm still very grateful.
You've gone quite red, Jonathan.
Keep your junior quiet, James, till he's spoken to. Yes. Rather a nice wedding present for him.
How's young Jones coming up?
Derek? Fine. I'm trying to work on his missionary zeal.
What for? I thought he had enough of that.
Exactly. I'm trying to make him lose it. My jest, of course. I suppose I must have been like that once.
Like what?
Involved.
Can't remember, Jonathan. It's much too long ago.